Yeah, definitely. I think these are like these are essential when it comes to campervan. Hello and welcome back to Vibes and Sibes. Today we're going to be doing a video all about like essential items that we use while we're out and about camping. But before we get into that, I'd just like to say thanks to everyone who's liked the videos, new subscribers, viewed the videos. We really thank you for that, and it really inspires us to make more content. So awesome. Right, on with the video. So first up, we've got collapsible wares. Now what we found is within the camper, obviously space is a real premium. I think that goes without saying for all this sort of transporter size camper vans.
Definitely.
So collapsible items that collapse down and sort of reduce the amount of storage required is sort of essential, certainly in our mind. So
definitely. So this is just a few of the items we've got that collapse down. So we've got bowls. One of those we use as a dog bowl for the dogs. We've got a colander, and we've got this big water container that folds down nice and flat, and then we've got the collapsed kettle as well. I'll just demonstrate how the kettle works. So you just give it a pull like that, and then it pops up, and there's the lid, like that.
Beautiful. So I mean, obviously you can see that is a fairly bulky item to try and put somewhere, and I think that goes for most kettles, but the fact that it collapses down means we can store it, say, in this top cupboard up here or down below or whatever, and it makes storage so much easier. These items are Outworld Collapse brand. Lots of brands available though, so not saying that this is the brand, just the brand that we chose basically.
We like them. And this colour was like the navy's sort of our colour scheme, isn't it?
Yeah,
so we liked the navy. So,
but I think it is available in lots of other colours, isn't it?
Yeah, there's other colours. Yeah,
blues, greens, and all sorts. So yeah, check that out.
So the next things we've got to show you are travel mugs.
Yeah, so what we found is you might make a brew, you're sitting drinking your brew, and then you might be like, oh, actually, let's go to the beach, or let's go out for a walk or whatever. And the beauty about travel mugs and travel cups is you can just pop a lid on it and you're on your way. I think these ones we tend to use if we're like driving around because they fit in the cup holders in the front. These ones we tend to use in the van, and more often than not we'll use them without the lid on, won't we? And then obviously we can just pop the lid on if we want to go out. Yeah.
The lids, they have like a magnetic slider on the lid, which obviously you pull back, and then that's where you drink from. If you keep that shut, they keep your drink hot for a long time. I mean, 2-3 hours, it's still easily drinkable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they're really, really good. And I guess the other good thing about travel mugs is, they're not breakable.
Exactly.
To have, pottery, ceramic is the word I'm looking for. Yeah. Ceramic mugs in a camper van's probably not the best idea. So these are really good.
Definitely. And these are a Yeti brand. Lots of other brands available. We did just what we chose basically. They're not cheap. I think the Yeti stuff personally I think is a little bit overpriced for what it is, but the quality is really there, and obviously the fact that it'll keep your drink hot for 3 or 4 hours or whatever, or throughout the day is really impressive. So that's one of the reasons why we went for these.
Yeah, definitely.
So next up we've got cooking, and I think probably everybody who has a camper van, certainly that we've seen on YouTube and stuff, pretty much uses these, and these are Ridge Monkeys. Really handy pots and pans. You've got this one which is more of like a toasty or a frying pan, and then we've also got this sort of deep one which doubles up as like a lidded saucepan, but also obviously it can split apart, and you've got sort of a griddle pan and a saucepan, so that's really good. Really like these, don't we?
Yeah, really good. I mean, this one's really good for, say, if you did something like a curry or something like that, you've got a nice deep pan there for something like that. And then this one so that you can flip stuff over, and
so you can put something in there, close it down, obviously cook that side, you could then flip it over. The only thing I will say with that is if you're cooking something that has some juice, when you flip it over, the juice is gonna
it does sometimes come out,
which means it's going to go all over your cooker, which is not ideal. But obviously you can open it, flip the item and close it up again, which is what I would do if we were doing something that had like oil or something coming out of it.
The good thing is though, it still stops say if you're cooking bacon and the fat starts spitting, it will stop that coming. If you keep the lid shut, it's going to stop that coming out and spitting all over your hob and everything. So yeah, it's still good, but just sometimes the juice does come out.
I think these are definitely essential when it comes to a camper van. You know, it stops the fat going everywhere. It makes cooking really easy. And obviously with the two that we've got, it means you can cook something in here. I think previously we've done like garlic bread in here and then like pasta in here.
Yeah.
And then obviously you've got a nice meal. So yeah, it works really well.
So the next item we've got to show you is microfiber towels.
Yep, so what we found was the first time we ever went away in the van, we didn't have half the sort of things we needed, did we?
No, we didn't even have a waste container.
Yeah, so which meant we couldn't use a sink.
Couldn't use the sink, no. It was a real experimental first trip out, wasn't it?
Definitely, but it meant we could see what we needed, see what we didn't need. But one of the things that we found was we grabbed tea towels and towels from the inside the house, and obviously they worked great for drying stuff, drying pots and pans and stuff. But what we found is you'd leave them to dry overnight and the next day they would still be as wet as they were the previous day.
Yeah.
The beauty about microfiber tea towels and towels is if you use them, they're really great for drying stuff, to get stuff really dry, which is great, including yourself if you're using the towels after you've had a shower and stuff. But the next day, because they're so thin and they dry really quickly, they'll be dry, which means they're ideal to be used within a camper van.
Yeah, definitely.
The other great thing about them is they're small, so they don't take up half the space, probably even a quarter of the space that like a large, like towel you would dry yourself with.
Yeah, so this is, well, this blue one here is one of the ones that we dry ourselves with,
yep.
Or we take when we go for a shower, and this is how small they fold up. They fold up into this tiny little bag, and they'll fit anywhere, won't they, really?
Absolutely, and obviously that's the beauty about that is dries you off really quickly, will dry really quickly when you need it to dry for the next day, but then obviously very small space it takes up, so that's ideal in the camper van. Right, so next up we have got bedding. Now, lots of different options for bedding. You've got single sleeping bags, double sleeping bags. We've actually chosen a coverless duvet. What that means is that it's a duvet with a stitched onto cover, machine washable, which means if it needs washing every now and again, straighten the whole thing straight into the washing machine, and obviously leave it to dry. It's perfect, means you can keep it nice and clean.
Yeah, it just means you don't have to wrestle with a duvet cover every time you take it off and then have to wrestle it back on. It's really good, isn't it?
Absolutely. We use this in the pop top. This is a 10.5 tog. It's a night owl coverless duvet, isn't it?
Night owl, yeah.
10.5 tog keeps us. I mean, we went away in December just before Christmas, and I think it was like 4 degrees, and we were perfectly fine. We didn't have the heater on during the night, and we were lovely and toasty in the pop top. So yeah, highly recommend this as a bedding option. I'm sure lots of people use this, so yeah.
The other great thing about this Night Owl duvet is that it comes with its own bag, so you can just roll it up and put it in its bag, and then we tend to store ours in the wardrobe, don't we?
Yep.
Which fits in there quite nicely. So that's that. Okay, so the next thing we wanted to talk about was extra storage for beers and cold drinks, and the thing we've got for that is this Yeti cool box.
Yep, so what we found is as soon as you put 3 or 4 days worth of food into the fridge, there isn't really enough storage left for beers or cold drinks that take up a fair bit of room. So what we've done is get this Yeti Roadie 24 for basically putting beer and cold drinks in for extra storage.
Yeah, and it's also because it doesn't plug into electric or anything like that, it means it's quite good for taking a picnic to the beach and that kind of thing as well. The best way of using it is to have a block of Yeti ice. Now this doesn't come with it, it is extra, but this is the Yeti ice. So you freeze this in your freezer, pop it in the bottom of the cooler, and then when you put your normal cubed ice on top of it and all your drinks in there, this should help to keep the ice frozen for longer. So, and I believe if you use it properly, it should be able to keep the ice in there for, it can be up to a week, I believe, depending on outside conditions, how hot it is, how often you're going in there and letting warm air in, that kind of thing. But we just thought this was a good option for us anyway.
Yep, and as I mentioned earlier with the other Yeti products, I do find the Yeti products quite expensive for what they are. But having said that, this for a plug-in cool box seems to be one of the best on the market, and certainly in terms of the reviews that we've seen on it. So yeah, we haven't actually used this yet. So the next time we go away, which I think is next weekend, we'll be using this for the first time. So we'll be able to report back if it is as good as they say it is.
Definitely.
And finally, we come to our secret weapon. Now, I think everyone who's knows the channel and has subscribed to the channel knows we've got two very fluffy huskies, and they tend to drop hair basically everywhere on everything. So the constant battle with dog hair is a real struggle for us. But what we found is the van, where it's carpeted, and you got this like carpet all around, sort of paneling and that, it's awful for trying to get dog hair off. It just sticks to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's terrible. Especially in the boot where they travel. Yeah, it gets covered. So.
And it does hoover off, but it is quite time consuming. You sort of going over the same spot over and over again. And on a whim, I think after we'd had the van a little while, like a month or something, I went onto Amazon and I saw this product, which is called a mitt, a dog hair mitt. And I thought, why not? Can't hurt to try. It's only like, I think it was like 10 quid or something. I thought, yeah, why not? And it's an absolute game changer. So basically it's like, it's got a fabric on it that one way is really smooth, the other way is almost like prickly. So if you run it across the material, be it carpet or your clothes or whatever, it basically picks up the dog hair, and basically the dog hair sticks to it. So what we found is if we use this on the carpet that's in the van, it picks all the dog hair up, and then we're able to sort of clean and hoover the van out in sort of half the time, aren't we?
Definitely, yeah. The only thing with it is you do have to make sure that you do it the right way, because the smooth side,
it deposits hair.
It deposits the hair back onto the surface. So you just got to make sure that you use it the rough side.
And that's a really good point, because that's also how you get the dog hair then off this. When if it gets full of dog hair, you then go the other way, and that's how you get the dog hair off it. But absolute godsend. So anyone who's got dogs and a camper van that's got carpet similar to ours in it, definitely worthwhile.
Definitely. We should throw in some B-roll of it. Of us actually using it, so people
absolutely.
can see.
So have a look at that now of us using it, so you can see how it works. And there we have it. That's our essential items that we found that are useful when we're away. Certainly make our life a little bit easier when we're out and away in the camper van. Certainly in the first sort of 5 or 6 months of owning this van. I'm sure there'll be lots more to add to that list. If you're interested in any of the items, drop down in the comments, ask us a question. If it's helpful, we can put some links in the description for it. Just let us know if you'd like that down below. Again, thanks everyone for subscribing, for liking, for commenting and engaging. That's awesome. And if you are new here, do subscribe, like the video. But I think that's it.
Yeah. See you in the next one.
Bye.